Hey guys, I'm here today and we are going to talk about motivation. So as a teen writer, this is something we need a lot of just to stay consistent and stay focused. Without motivation, without discipline, there's no way we're really gonna finish a project. So I decided to make this video and share some tips with you on how to stay motivated. Now, fair warning, these are not my tips. If I were you, I wouldn't trust me. Even I don't trust me. So I use other people's tips and try and figure out what works for me. So we're gonna get straight into the video and I'll share the tips that I've learned with you. Okay, so the first tip is from Brandon Sanderson, and he basically, the whole message of his entire video was to just find what works for you and use it. Now, I know that that sounds really dumb and very straightforward, but he went into a little bit more detail. So I'll give you a couple of examples. He said that he's definitely a number person. So when he's reading his Kindle, he really likes to look at the percentages and watch them trickle up. So if numbers are something that works for you, then maybe you want to utilize word count goals. I know on the program that I have, Scrivener, there's a little bar and you can set your word count goal and you can see it change colors as you get closer and closer to your goal. So it goes from red to green. And I really like that because I really like the semblance of progress. So you can make a spreadsheet like he does and track your word count goals through every day that you write, check your word count throughout the month. That's a really, really useful way if you're motivated by something like numbers. However, he said if you're motivated by something external, try that too. And a lot of people don't like extrinsic motivation. Later we'll talk about the locus of control theory. But he said if you can use it and you find out, I really need external motivation, you can utilize the system of beta readers available to you online. You can publish one chapter at a time. You can tell your friends, create a little author group, and hold yourself accountable through other people if that's something that works for you. Okay. Next, we'll move on to, I believe it's Alexa Dunn. She's super cool. She's definitely a personality on YouTube. And so in her motivation video, she talks about just staying creative and ingesting as much story as possible. And she even went on to go through to the different types of mediums. So you can watch movies, you can read books, read as much as you can, read in your genre, read outside of your genre. Anything that kind of gets the creative juices flowing and gets you in the mindset of writing or something in that ballpark. Outlining, watching movies, just kind of analyzing plot structure of your favorite stories and staying creative. I'd like to add on to this spending time in nature just to get a little recharge, to get a little reset. It's definitely what I've been doing, especially now that I'm out of school for the summer. It's something that I've been looking forward to sit down and really getting some writing time in. That has not really happened yet, but I'm just trying to take it slow, take my time, and work up that motivation, work up that discipline, and build it into a writing routine. This is just to prevent burnout. Okay, next we're gonna go on to the Pomodoro technique. And I know you guys have heard about this. The Pomodoro technique is essentially this concentration technique in which you use time as a means to motivate you. So for writing sprints, these are very, very high yield typically. They go 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. And this is just designed to get you in the zone without you trickling off and fading away. Now, this technique has been scientifically proven to give you the highest yield. However, I'd recommend testing different times. You can try 50-10, especially for something more creative and not as administrative, such as writing. You need to really get in the creative headspace, and sometimes that 25-minute block can be too short and it can give you, you're gonna lose time. Because once you're in that big range, there's a type of time when you enter into the creative phase, and then ending it at a certain point right when you're getting in can sometimes be detrimental. So I'd recommend trying a couple new timelines. You could even try 47, 40 minutes on, 7 minutes off. Just find what works for you and stick to it. I think that's the overarching theme here. So I said earlier that we would talk about the locus of control. And this is a common concept in psychology in which there's this whole experiment, and I'll explain it to you. So scientists gave two groups of kids the same puzzle or the same set of puzzles. And these kids, however they performed on the puzzle, they were told that they did very well, that they were exceptional, that they were in the top 5–10%. I forget exactly what the statistic is, but they were told that they did very, very well. One group was told it was just because they were good at it. It was just because these kids were naturally gifted. It's not something that could be built over time with practice. The other group was told that they did well because they worked hard at it and that was their reward for solving it. So these are two very, very different mindsets. Now for the next part of the experiment, the researchers gave each group 3 types of puzzles. Some were easy, some were medium, and some were hard. And to the group of kids who were told that they just did well because they were naturally good at it, these kids were quicker to give up on the more difficult puzzles and likely to spend all their time on the easy puzzles. Now to the other group of children who were told that they did well because they worked hard, these kids were more determined, they persevered more. Now, to the group of kids who were told that they did well because they worked really hard, they spent a good amount of time on the hard puzzles as well as the easy puzzles. They really persevered throughout the entire process and ended up just getting more done overall. And this proved that when the kids had this thing called the internal locus of control, the whole mindset that I can do well because I believe I can, because I work hard at it, the harder I work, the better I become, that's an internal locus of control. That's telling yourself that you yourself have the control to improve at whatever skill you want. These kids ended up doing better. Kids with the external locus of control, outside factors, I was just born this way, I was just born really, really smart, really, really good at these puzzles, they were less likely to work hard, they were less likely to persevere. And I believe the same concept can kind of be applied to your writing. Let's say you're a teenager, you've been told you're a gifted writer your whole life, that's why you've started writing, because you're good at it. You've just been good at it your entire life. You don't believe that there's really such thing as improving. That's a mindset you need to alter before you can really, really become motivated to write. Because as soon as things start slipping downhill, you're going to lose faith in yourself and you're not going to want to try anymore. So I would highly recommend maybe even looking into this if this is something that interests you, looking into the locus of control theory and trying to build your own internal locus of control. That's pretty much it. That's all I have for motivation. I hope that some of these tips resonated with you. I hope that some of these things were valuable to you and you took away something from this video. Yeah, that's it. Happy writing.